So today we are into week 22, and children, can I make a few announcements first? All right. Next week got no lesson, Next week got no lesson. All right. Next week got no lesson. It's a 1 week 88 tuitions break. All right. So please don't come for lesson. Can? So there's 1 week of 88 tuition break next week. Okay, that's the first announcement. So I will see you on the 18th of June. You all can hear me, right? All right, I'll see you all on the 18th of June on Tuesday for our next lesson. All right, and the next lesson, we are going to start on a new topic already. I think it's going into something called, trigonometry or something like that. All right, so we will not be doing all this revision again. All right, so all this revision is to just to enforce and to ensure that you understand what is happening, right, during the first 2 terms of your years in secondary 3. Can? Okay, Okay, moving forward, the second announcement is up to now, none of you message me to ask for homework help. Which means that seriously you don't need help, which means that number 1, you know how to do exactly all the questions, don't need my help. All right, that's good, Or number 2, you haven't even started on your homework yet. That is bad. All right, that is bad. All right, so if you haven't started on your school homework, right, please start on it. Don't waste time. All right, please start on your school homework. Don't waste time. All right, understand, not, children? Okay, All right, so that's the second announcement. Hello, Wen Yi. So just now I was telling the class about a couple of announcements. The first announcement is next week, Next week there's no lesson. All right, next week 88 tuition is having a break, so there's no lesson. All right, so next week no lesson. Second announcement is your holiday school homework, right? Please try to attempt them. All right, if you've got question, please come and find me for help. You all know my number. All right, and the third thing is, yes, I managed to buy the Popular vouchers from Popular already. All right, it's an e-voucher. All right, so on Friday or maybe next Monday, right, I will try to tally the scores. All right, and try to give you all the Popular voucher so that you all can go and make purchase during the holidays. All right, and get some discount off the Popular. All right. So what is happening is I will send the QR code. I'll send a link to your daddy and mommy. All right. Then you bring them to Popular. Right. You grab whatever you want. All right. And they pay money, of course, and they are able to use the discount. Can? So that is the whole idea here. All right. So 3 announcements for you all. Can understand, right? Okay. All right. Very good. Let's continue with today's lesson. All right. So today's lesson is also quite short. Don't worry. All right. I'll be doing some extra question. All right. There are some questions which some of my students asked, right, which I just want to show it to you, right, to see whether you got a similar problem or not. Can? All right. So question number 4, right? This particular question was a homework question I gave you all last week. All right. This question was a homework question I gave you all last week. All right. Can you please take a look at this? All right. I hope that you all actually participate in the homework. Right. You need to practice one. Keep practicing. And all these questions, right, when you see, you must know how to do it already. You cannot wait one. Cannot think one. Must just execute and get the answer one. Okay? Come, let's take a look. So we have 4 over 2y plus 7 minus 3 over 2y minus 7. Question wants it as a single fraction. All right? So obviously down here is a 2 fraction one. So 2 fraction, you must make it into 1. What do you do? Immediately draw a long line. You need the 2y plus 7. And you also need a 2y minus 7 as the denominator. Okay? So ask yourself, the very first fraction, what are you short of? You're short of the 2y minus 7, right? So below times 2y minus 7, on top also must times 2y minus 7. The next one, down here must times 2y plus 7. Yep. And on top also must times 2y plus 7. Can you get it? Can, Okay. So my advice to you is to write out exactly what you see. 4 bracket 2y minus 7 minus 3 bracket 2y plus 7. Okay, then you do the expansion. 4 times 2 is 8y. 4 times 7 is a 28. Minus belongs to 3. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6y. Minus 3 times positive 7 is a minus 21. And the denominator never expand. Never expand. Leave it as a factorized form because maybe can cancel. Right? You don't know whether can cancel or not. So you just leave it as a factorized form. 8y minus 6y is a 2y. Minus 28 minus 21 is a minus 49. Oh, cannot factorize. So never mind. It's okay. Just leave the denominator as it is. Okay, and this will be your answer. Can, children? Right, so this is easily 2 marks. All right, and you must be able to see and execute one. You got no time to think one. All right, you got no time to think one. Must just do it one. Oh, ready? Okay, next part of the question, they say hands. Oh, what's the meaning of hands? Hands means you have to relate to the previous part. Relate to the front part. Right, relate to part 1 of the question. All right, and this portion, can you see not? Yes. All right, it's exactly the same as on top down here, what? Can you see not? Okay, so you are supposed to use this. You are right. If your this part you mess it up, right, your part 2 will be also messed up already. All right, so it's a super dangerous move. All right, so you must get it right, correct on the part 1. Okay. All right, so down here for part 2, you can actually immediately use the 2y minus 49 to assist you already. Over 2y plus 7 and 2y minus 7. Equal to 1, write it in, equal to 1. You see? So this 1 is actually 1 over 1. If you want, right, you can immediately do a cross multiplication. All right, you can do a cross multiplication so that you can have one line. All right, so one line means what? 2y plus 7, 2y minus 7 times 1 is the same thing. 1 times 2y minus 49 is 2y minus 49. All right, so you make it to one single line already. Isn't that easier to do? Yes, it is. Okay, so now what do you do? Hey, can I expand the left-hand side? Hey, isn't this a plus b, a minus b? Can you see not? It's algebraic rule 3. So it's actually a squared minus b squared. Remember not? Algebraic rule 3. A plus b, a minus b is a squared minus b squared, what? Down here is still 2y minus 49. The square is for everybody in the bracket, so it's 4y squared minus 49 is equal to 2y minus 49. Okay? So you bring the 2y across, will give you minus 2y. Minus 49, bring across, is a plus 49. Eh? Minus 49 plus 49 is a 0. Happy, happy. What do you do? Remember, you need to factorize before solving. All right, all this taught to you already. Please lock it in. Don't say that after school holiday, everything forget. Then how? Factorize before solving. So 4y and 2y, the common is 2 and the y. You're left with a 2 here, minus what? All right, you're left with a 2y here, minus what? Minus 1. All right, because the 2 is actually made of 1 times 2. You take out the 2, you got the 1 down there, equal to 0. Down here, you can give a conclusion already. You can say that 2y is equal to 0, or 2y minus 1 is equal to 0. So y is equal to 0, or 2y is equal to 1, y is equal to half. Got it? All right, and your answer is 0 or half. Ta-da! Understand, children? All right, so these are questions that is actually what? Must know how to do one. All right, must know how to do one. Cannot don't know. Illegal to don't know. Okay, illegal to don't know. Okay. Okay, so after this part C, this is actually the homework from last week, right? From the previous mock paper, the question. All right. So I was actually being asked a couple of questions from my student, right, regarding some graph question, right, from eMath. All right, so these are some of the questions that we seldom see together in class. All right, but I think that we can discuss on it. Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, all right, this is actually from a textbook, I think. Can you see not? It's like from a textbook. Is that okay? All right, so this is actually called a distance time graph. Distance time graph. Okay. So this was asked from one of my students. So I just want to share with you all, just in case your school is doing such question, at least you got some idea on how to attempt it. Can? Okay, come. So what's the story like? Oh, distance time graph, right? All right, down here is obviously your distance and down here is your time lah. Okay, so we can see that the car or whatever started off at a 0 point and it traveled and it reaches the highest point, which is the 120 kilometer. All right, so we can say that maybe from the town A to town B, right, down here. All right, there's a distance of 120 kilometer apart. And our dear car, right, took how long? This is like 2.5, this is 1.5, this is 3.5 hours to reach the destination. Can you see or not? Right, can you understand the graph? All right, so this particular car took 3.5 hours to travel the 120 kilometer. Can you see that? And along the way, right, what is the story like? Look, this part of the journey, right, the car traveled, it traveled a distance of 60 kilometer in 1.5 hours. And down here, what happened? This portion, how come it never moved? Down here is actually he rested. Can you see not? Maybe travel too long already, 1.5 hours, need a rest. All right, so he stopped by a diner to have some lunch or something like that. All right, so this portion, right, actually is still 60 kilometer. Down here is still 60 kilometer. So in a way, is rested, never moved. Can you see the story? Then after that, he continued his journey to reach the final destination, 60 kilometer in the remaining, 1 hour. Can you see not? So our dear friend rested for 1 hour also. Understand not? All right, so that's the story. That's the story. Okay, come, let's take a look at the question. Find the duration during which the car is not moving. Oh, which is here to here lah, here to here. Can you see? So this is the 1.5 hour mark. Down here is the 2.5 hour mark. All right. So for part 1, how long? All right, 1 hour. All right, duration means how long? Is that okay? Yeah. Number 2. You're supposed to find the average speed of the car in the first 2 hours of the journey. Ooh. All right, first 2 hours of the journey. Okay, first 2 hours of the journey, which means from here to here. Here to here, 2 hours here. Can you see not? Hey, but what's the meaning of average speed? Average speed, right, actually represents what? Average speed actually represents total distance over total time, right? All right. So what's the total time? He traveled 60 kilometer up to here, but this portion he never traveled, right? So he is still at the 60 kilometer portion. He traveled 60 kilometer already. And the total time is not 1.5 hours, children. Careful. The total time is not 1.5 hours. Nope. Right, question say the 2 hours journey. So you have to include the rest time up to here. Too bad lah. It's okay. All right, therefore the answer is 30 kilometer per hour. Okay, because the formula of average speed is very strict. Total distance divided by total time. Understand our children? All right, your time must include the half an hour rest time. And part 3, what do we have? Find the average speed of the car for the whole journey. Okay, so average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. Every time I write out one, right? So it reminds me on the formula, right? Then I don't have to, memorize at the last minute. So some of you have this bad habit. Before the exam, right? Before you go into the exam hall, then you take out your formula book and you start to remember. Don't do that. He's driving really slowly, you know. It's a small car, right? It's a slow car. Come on, relax. So the total distance that he's traveling is 120 kilometer. Over the total time, how long he took? 3.5 hours. Can you see not? Down here, right? must include the